Hey guys, this one is all about your person, what they're thinking, feeling, what's going through their mind, head, and heart. We're going to get into all of their emotions, and today we have a beautiful selection of paintings for you to choose from. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you, and basically you're going to see which of these paintings is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it, and then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments in the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, I always recommend people pick their pile based on the energy that is pulling them in, magnetizing, calling out to them, not necessarily the painting they find the prettiest or the one they would purchase in an art gallery, but just the energy that is calling to them, the same way you would pick for any other pick a card reading. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to check out my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about what people fantasize about you. Before that, there was a what people find sexy about you reading. So two spicy, fun readings. And then we have a deep spiritual reading all about what you're carrying with you from past lives. But there are so many different readings to choose from over on Patreon, over 85 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you join over there. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So there are readings about love, readings about career, money, spirituality, future lives, past lives, personality, tipsy readings. There are so many different readings to choose from, and you also get to vote and suggest on new topics. So if all of that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can either sign up for a half-hour session or a full hour-long session. You can have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you. You can do a pre-recorded reading or a live one-on-one session. You get to really customize your session with me so that it's exactly what you want and perfect for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a time slot with me, and the link for that is in my description. So thanks for watching, guys. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So let's get into your cards. You guys got the Queen of Swords, the Lady, aka the Empress, the Four of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Nine of Cups. So what does this person think and feel about you? Right off the bat, we have the Queen of Swords. So they're a little intimidated by you. If this person has not approached you, that could be why. If they just have a crush on you, like, I don't know if they're going to approach you anytime soon, because it does feel like they are kind of low-key a little bit scared of you and maybe afraid of what you might say. If you're in a relationship with this person, they may think of you as very intelligent, very smart, and again, they may be a little afraid of making you mad and being on your bad side. I feel like they see you as someone who can see through BS and like read a room really quickly. Like you're someone who they find very tough as well. Like the Tower card is sticking out to me with that as well. Obviously the Tower card is not necessarily like a fun moment when you have the Tower card, and it feels like they see you as very resilient, like you've been through some stuff. You're not weak. You're not easily scared. I feel like they see you as very, very tough and kind of a hard worker as well with the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles would be someone who has a lot of boundaries around work as well. Maybe someone who has a lot of goals, is very ambitious, and is going to accomplish really great things. The Four of Pentacles person can sometimes even be an overworker or be someone that works too much or doesn't really take a lot of time off. So they may sometimes, you know, wonder, like, do you have space in your life for me? Am I taking too much time from you? Would you even be open? Like, I feel like they kind of see you as like, you're going to accomplish so much in your life. So where would I fit in? Do you even want someone like me? Are you even like caring? Do you even like miss me or think of me? Like, I feel like they see you as someone that just has so much going on, kind of like Rory from Gilmore Girls, how she was just always, I don't know, like in the gifted and talented program and like going off to Harvard. Like, I kind of feel like they see you in that light, like just as this overachiever or someone who really has their life on point. And I feel like there is insecurity coming through, like, where do I fit into this? Am I actually capable of even adding any value to their life? Or is it just a situation where maybe this person might tolerate me, but that's kind of the best I could hope for? Like, I don't know how I could actually fit in and make their life better or anything, you know? They also see you as very, very beautiful. We did get the Empress, which is the lady on this card. And the Empress can also be a card all about fertility. So you can see she's actually depicted as pregnant in this card, as she is depicted as pregnant on a lot of other decks as well. So it's a really common theme. You don't always see it with the Empress, but again, this person could literally see you as like wifey material, husband material, someone they would want to start a family with, someone they could see themselves with long term, and someone that they may think makes an amazing long-term partner or parent even. Like, I feel like they really do look up to you, because the Empress is also that feminine divine figure that, yeah, we do associate with moms and kind of mothering and nurturing. So I feel like when this person is around you, you make them feel really good. We got the Nine of Cups, the Empress. Like, I feel like they are very charmed by you and also very attracted to you. Another thing that strikes me about this pile is, as I was shuffling, y'all know, but this deck has a lot of naked figures on it, unfortunately. That's why I sometimes can't use it for live shuffles, or if I do, I have to like be ready to cut. But anyway, you guys got, I think, like all the naked cards from this deck. Yeah, so I feel like, which is like the Hanged Man, the Judgment card, which again continues on that theme of kind of this fear or this nervousness around you that I feel like this person is definitely feeling. But also another thing that struck me with that, I was like, oh my god, it's freaking every single naked card in this deck, or almost everyone. And I feel like the thing with that is they probably are very attracted to you as well. The Empress is also extremely attractive. She exudes that Venusian beauty and literally has, you know, that connection to Venus. So I feel like this person sees you as extremely beautiful, sexy, seductive, and probably, if they haven't been with you yet, probably imagine you naked, or if they've already been with you, they might just really enjoy getting to see you naked or something. They think you look really good naked. I don't know. But this person is very, very, very attracted to you. That's coming through for sure. So let's get into some song cards for you. Pile number 1, and then we're going to actually pull more tarot. What song cards do we have for pile 1 and how this person is feeling about them? I Will, the Beatles. And then we got Bluebeard, Band of Horses. Okay. So with I Will from the Beatles, I feel like you make this person kind of want to step up to the plate. You make them want to see what they can do and see what they can bring to the table. I feel like you may inspire some insecurity in them, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, sometimes, you know, you might feel insecure about something, so you decide to work extra hard. Like, you had to write an essay and you feel insecure about it, so you're like, okay, let me put in extra work. And that's kind of what's coming to my mind with that song, is like, I feel like this person, it makes them want to like step up to the plate and do more and commit more and push themselves more when it comes to you. It makes them like want to see, well, okay, how can I improve? How can I be more on pile 1's level? In fact, if this is someone that you haven't had an actual like date with or anything like that, and maybe you sense a crush, a connection, something happening on the astral plane, some interest from them, it could be that they are waiting or postponing asking you out until they are in a better financial place, or until they're more confident about something having to do with maybe their career or their body or whatever. I feel like this person definitely wants to make the best impression on you possible, and that kind of weighs heavily in their mind, is trying to make a good impression, trying to really show you what they can do for you, trying to make it clear to you that you can rely on them, you can depend on them, and that they are a good candidate for you to be with. So if there hasn't been a lot of contact from them, or this person has, you know, not really been forthright about their feelings or their intentions for you, that could be why. It could be something that they're kind of postponing and putting off with this hope of like, well, one day I'm going to figure it out, and one day I'll be able to approach them and they're going to love me, and kind of this feeling of like, I'm not quite there yet, but I know if I keep pushing myself, I know if I work on myself, then, you know, I'll be able to get there eventually. But I do feel like this person definitely feels like you are a prize. What's sticking out to me as well is the song This Is What You Came For by, in my book, Taylor Swift and Rihanna. And that song has that lyric that is like, and everybody's watching her, but she's looking at you. And I feel like that's how this person feels about you. She's like, wow, so many people want to date pile number one, and they're such a prize. And, you know, honestly, I feel like they do have deep emotions for you. We got I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. And Bluebeard, Band of Horses is a super romantic song to me. I'm not getting a specific lyric coming to my mind, but it is a really beautiful song. And I feel like for you guys, there's that message that this person really feels very deeply connected to you. And if you guys ever were to date and get together and then you broke up or something like that, I feel like this person, you know, would be very afraid that you would break their heart. We got Sex with My Ex, Lil Peep, Death by a Thousand Cuts, Taylor Swift. So yeah, I feel like they definitely have long-term intentions with you, want to be with you, and really care about you quite a lot, to be honest with you. They do care about you. They have feelings for you. You know, it's not just a crush. It's not just a yeah, like they look good naked and I love that and they're sexy. It's like, even though they may think that, of course, but I think it's more than that. It's a lot deeper, and it's a feeling that this is something maybe divine or sacred or something really rare that hasn't happened to them before. Let's get into some of these cards for you. Pile number one. How is this person feeling towards pile one? How is this person feeling towards pile one? So we got the Eight of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Queen of Swords, reversed. That's double. So whenever we get that double, it's definitely a major energy. Then we got the Five of Swords. Ooh, there's a lot of sad cards. I don't know if some of you guys have been through a breakup with this person, or you guys are no contact, or there was a separation that happened. But we are getting a lot of really sad cards. So this person may be going through it a little bit. We also got the Nine of Pentacles. Interesting that we got the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups, because both of those talk about an easy, relaxed energy. And again, I feel like when this person is with you, it seems so easy. Like, I feel like this person just feels like they can relax and open up to you in a way that they really can't with anyone else. Maybe the conversation just like flowed with y'all, and like as soon as you guys, you know, met and got to know each other, it was just like, I can really talk to them. This is so great. I don't have to try. Maybe there was no like early talking awkward phase or something, and it was just, you know, just easy the whole time. I don't know, but I feel like with this person, they really feel like they know you a lot deeper as well. What's coming to my mind is another song by Band of Horses, which is No One's Gonna Love You, and the lyric is no one's gonna love you more than I do. And I feel like this person really feels like they know you, and they're mentioning to me that they know your flaws and they still love you despite your flaws. So if you have some insecurities about certain things that you feel like, oh, I need to fix this, or can't believe I said that, or like, oh, I'm so messed up, or whatever insecurities that I think everyone deals with, you know, to a certain extent. It's not good to dwell on those insecurities, obviously, but I think it's normal to have feelings like that come up. This person, their higher self, just wants you to know that they love you regardless, and there's something almost about you not needing to hide, or you not needing to put on a certain image for them, because I feel like they really see to your core and they still love you. So whoever needs to hear that, just don't worry about it. We also got the Eight of Pentacles, and again, I feel like that energy is showing that this person is really committed to like doing whatever work they need to get you. They are not thinking that that it's going to be necessarily easy, or that you'll accept them just as they are. I feel like this person wants to tweak and improve and fix certain things, and then they'll feel like they can be good enough to actually get with you. Let me see if we can get just a couple more cards for you. Pile number one. The Temperance card. Yes, they definitely have that. Ooh, okay, we got two more cards, the Ten of Wands and the Fool. They definitely have that long-term intention, and the Ten of Wands definitely shows someone who's done a lot of hard work. So this person may have already made tweaks and changes. I'm hearing, especially for some of them, maybe around their physical appearance, like trying to get more muscle or trying to change something about their body or their hair or whatever. I also feel like this person has tried to make changes around their money situation or their career in order to win you over, in order to get you to be more impressed with them. And I feel like this person also, again, they have that longevity focus. We got the Temperance card. They definitely think of you as someone that they could see themselves being with for a really, really long time, not just a flash in the pan or a quick connection or anything like that. I feel like this person sometimes gets a little bit depressed. We got the Five of Cups, we got the Five of Swords. Five in tarot in general is not really a positive energy. We'll just, yeah, to say the least. It's probably, yeah, well, I mean, we have some bad major arcana cards, and nothing is ever bad, of course. It's always just a lesson. But the Five of Cups, the Five of Swords, definitely this person could feel sometimes down or dejected or just like almost, I want to say, pointless. Like, what's the point? What's hopeless? Like, what's the point of trying? You know, it's just not going to work. Like, they don't like me that much, or someone like them would never be with someone like me. And I feel like if, again, they haven't been forthright or they sometimes act weird, that could be a part of it. Sometimes they may push you away as a result of it, because I feel like deep down, they're like, you know, I don't even think pile number one likes me back. I don't even think pile one cares about me. I don't even think pile number one could like someone like me. Like, look at them and look at me, and there's just no way. Like, clearly they have so many more options. Clearly they have so many people that would do anything to date them and are probably like freaking movie stars. Like, I feel like this person thinks of you as being on that level, that you could literally date whoever you want. And so sometimes I feel like it does lead them into a very negative place of feeling, like I said, a little bit hopeless and feeling like there's no point. Some of the time we got the Queen of Swords upright, then we got it reversed. I feel like some of the time the Queen of, I'm gonna pull more cards, by the way, I'm just clearing some cards. But sometimes I think the Queen of Swords really excites them, and they love the fact that they see you as really smart, and they see you as like exciting, and they see you as like very intelligent, and like you can see right through them, and you can see through so many different people, and you're just brilliant. And sometimes that's like, wow, that's so awesome, and sometimes it's like, ugh, they can see right through me. And there's this fear that you might leave them, or there's this fear that you would get bored with them, or that you're just not going to be impressed. Let's get some more cards for you, pile number one. What does pile number one's person feel towards pile number one? What do they think of them? So we got Golden Palace, Deep Freeze, Goblins. This person is very jealous of certain other people around you. I feel like they have this perception that you have so many offers, you have so many suitors, you have so many people who want to date you and want to be with you. And for them, it's a big question of like, where do I even fit in? How could I compete with those people? And I feel like that kind of fear really weighs heavily on them. This idea that you're going to have so many other options, and so many other people would want to date you. And it's almost like they see you as being in a different league from them, or above them, or more mature than them, or more ahead in your career or with success, and you won't have a place for them in your life. We did get the Golden Palace card, and yeah, I feel like, you know, they see you or perceive you as being very successful, and almost like, what kind of place would pile number one have for me? Like, am I even going to have a place in their life? Do they have room for me? They probably don't, because they're probably dealing with so many other people, and also their career and whatever. But I feel like this person does feel very connected to you, and they almost like can't stay away. They may find themselves lurking your social media, or texting you, or reaching out to you even after they've told themselves like, oh, you got to give up on this, or talk to someone else. And I'm feeling like this person gets a kick out of you. Like, there's something they find kind of funny and charming about you at times, and you just make them laugh sometimes. Like, they just sometimes just kind of like, I don't know, you tickle their sense of humor somehow. Some of the things you do, they find kind of cute and charming and funny. And yeah, I feel like this person, though, they may be afraid of your temper, or you getting mad at them, or you just cutting them off with a quickness. Like, I feel like they, again, the Queen of Swords, we got it upright, we got it reversed. On one hand, they love the fact that you are this bold, strong, powerful, feisty, like, powerhouse. But then on the other hand, I feel like if they're on the receiving end of it, sometimes they're like, oh, that's kind of scary. And I could do with a little bit less of that. Like, I don't need the full experience of someone who's mad at me, or who, anything like that. I feel like, yeah, they like it, but it kind of excites them, but it kind of scares them. But that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes, maybe it helps someone to stay in line and act right. Let's get some of these cards for you. Pile number one. What do they think of pile number one? So we got the Lady of Lightning. Surprises, sometimes shock, total paradigm shift. Let's see. The Wise Woman of Wonderland, integrity, compromise. Okay. The Hawk Prince, spirit communication, paying attention, and the Ringmaster of Scrutiny, detachment, clear details. So again, that idea of you as being highly, highly intelligent, we've seen that so many times. Maybe you guys have a prominent Mercury, or you're just very well spoken, but I feel like you could be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Sagittarius, Aquarius. I don't know why I said Sag. Yeah, you could definitely be air. Of course, air is swords in tarot, but I feel like you have that quickness with your words, you have that intelligence, and again, you can really see through to someone's core, and you really are very intelligent and kind of penetrating in how you view things. You really, I think you kind of read people quickly, or you maybe don't have time for BS. Like, maybe if someone was acting rude to you in a store or something, you would say something. Like, you're not just this pushover. You're not just like this super easygoing, like, oh, I can tolerate whatever, I don't care. And I feel like this person respects it, but it does scare them. And it definitely makes them kind of question, like, whether you actually like them or not. But I feel like they feel that connection with you on the spiritual realm. And I feel like they also like that you're very bold. Like, there's something about you that I think you're a little bit selfish at times, but I think they like that about you. And I'm hearing the line from this song by Billy Joel, "She's always a woman," which is like, she is carelessly kind and casually cruel. She'll do as she's pleased. She'll do as she pleases. She's nobody's fool, and she'll bring out the best, the worst, and the worst you can be. Blame it all on yourself, but she's always a woman to me. And it's funny because that whole song is about like kind of this like really selfish girl. I mean, whether it's true or accurate, I don't know. It's obviously Billy Joel's perception of her. The woman might be like, okay, I was never selfish. Like, how rude, who knows how she feels about it. But he's almost praising that. I think it's interesting because sometimes we think, oh my gosh, if I'm selfish, then no one's going to like me. But sometimes that selfish energy can be very attractive and powerful. Maybe that's why there's a lot of Aries Venus sex symbols. Sometimes, even though that's in debilitation because Aries is so selfish, there's a lot of Aries Venus sex symbols. And I think part of that is, yeah, maybe picking up on that energy and the fact that there's something attractive about someone that puts themselves first. Or maybe strong Leo. Leos also, there's a lot of very famous sex symbol Leo placements in general, whether it's sun, moon, ascendant. And I think, what it comes down to at the end of the day is you got to respect a partner that really puts themselves first. And I feel like they see you as someone who does that. Let's get some astrology dice for you. Pile number one. So we got Gemini, we got the 10th house, aka Capricorn, and we also got Uranus, aka Aquarius, which makes perfect sense. I almost mentioned Aquarius, but we'll get to that in one moment. Let's start with Gemini. Again, I feel like this person sees you as extremely intelligent. And so, Gemini being an air sign really can read people, and Mercury ruled, super intelligent energy, and can really read people really well, engage in great conversation, and often knows a lot of random facts, random details about different subjects. So they can kind of like talk to you about literally anything. Then we also have Capricorn, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Capricorn is a planet of achievement, of hard work, of career, accomplishment. It rules the 10th house, which we see highlighted here. 10th house of career and public honors. So again, I feel like this person sees you as very focused on some kind of a goal. Like you're going to accomplish things, you're going to achieve certain things, and you are not a just kind of like sitting around waiting for things to happen to you type of person. It feels like they think of you as a powerhouse, keeping in mind that Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So it's really an amazing sign at getting certain things done and accomplishing certain things. And when a Capricorn puts their mind to something, they will make it happen. It always reminds me of that lyric, put my mind on it, then I put my grind on it, by Migos. And I feel like for you guys, you definitely have that mentality, like you're focused on some goal, or you're going to accomplish something, or you have certain dreams. And I feel like this person really likes that about you, that you are so adventurous and bold, and you have this faith in yourself. And then finally, we have Aquarius. And I almost mentioned Aquarius, and that's because Aquarius is the sign of surprise. And I was also getting like Uranus energy coming from you guys, because Uranus, you know, loves to kind of shock people and loves to do things that are unexpected and loves to be kind of keeping everyone on their toes. You know, they never like to be predictable or just having someone know exactly what's going to come next. So they kind of love to shock and throw someone for a loop. And I feel like that's how this person feels about you, is they can never quite put their finger on you or fully feel like they know everything to expect from you. And again, I feel like this person really likes that about you. I feel like they like that you kind of keep them guessing and they never know exactly what they can expect from you. And I feel like that's something that actually really kind of invigorates them and keeps them guessing when it comes to you and keeps them on their toes. So it actually kind of makes it exciting for them, and I don't think they see it as a bad thing. But yeah, that is what I have for you, pile number 1. I really hope it resonates. If you want to let me know how it resonates for you, I always love to hear. So let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about what people fantasize about you. So that's a fun, spicy one. We posted another spicy one, which is what people find sexy about you. And before that as well, a reading about what you're carrying with you from past lifetimes. So a nice little balance of the fun, spicy readings and the deep spiritual ones. And I have so many readings over there, over 85 exclusive readings you'll only get on Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos, so they always get posted over there first. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me over on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you want a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, whether you want me to pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, you can really customize the reading so it's exactly right for you. And like I said, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description if you're interested in booking a one-on-one slot with me. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey pile 2, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. So you guys got the 7 of Cups, the Wheel, the 6 of Wands, the 8 of Cups, and the 3 of Pentacles. So what I'm hearing in my mind as I start this reading super loud is like, I don't know if I can come back. I don't know if I can come back. Something about coming back. So I don't know if for a lot of you guys, this is a ex or someone that you're in separation with, someone you haven't talked to in a while. But if you are, I feel like this person very much worries about where they stand with you and what you're thinking. There's almost a sense of regret or sadness, or like, I messed up and I know I messed up and I regret that. And yeah, a strong sense of regret and a strong sense that they've done something wrong, and a strong sense that they're kind of looking back over past memories. I mean, you can see from just this card, look at him staring into this kind of pool. And generally speaking, in tarot decks, water represents, of course, emotions, memory, the astral plane, but it does represent memory and rule over memory, specifically the moon does. But anyway, I feel like this person is kind of staring into this well of emotion, staring into this well of memory, and looking back about the times you guys spent together and about everything you guys had, and really kind of regretting. Like, I almost feel like this person acted in haste. You know, there's a phrase, I can't remember the exact one, but it's something like act in haste, regret it later. And I feel like that's almost what's going on. Like, this person, I feel like, did certain things and almost had a like blase attitude about it, like, haha, whatever, screw you kind of vibe, you know? And now I feel like they're like, oh, I think I messed up. Maybe you're living your best life. Maybe you have moved on or you're thriving. But it feels like this person acted one way in the moment and it was very like almost impetuous or sudden or chaotic. Like, not really thought through, like not someone who sat down and, you know, weighed the options. We have the wheel which is ruled and connected with Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. And so, you know, speaking of that, that's a great example of that kind of energy that I'm talking about. That fire energy, and Sagittarius in particular can be very impetuous and just on to the next, and like, I'm just going to go here, I'm just going to do this, and not really sitting down to think about, well, what's the logic here, and let me weigh out my options. And I feel like this person kind of did that. Like, they just did something. They didn't sit down with themselves and give themselves the space to kind of process and think and be like, is this the best long-term choice? And so now I feel like they're in a place where they're kind of like, well, I may have messed up. And it's almost like the processing that's happening once you realize that you did take the wrong turn, or once you realize that a decision you made was probably not the right one, and how do you kind of like come back from that? And I feel like this person, a lot of them, a lot of the people that are represented by this pile might currently also be in denial. Like, it's almost like they don't want to admit that they really messed up. So right now they may still be in an energy of denying it, or pretending like everything is fine for them, pretending like they're happy, pretending that they're not missing you, and also being very afraid, almost like that you're going to figure out what's going on or what's happening with their emotions. I almost feel like that's the same reason why they messed up in the first place, is because they have this fear that you'll know the power that you have over them. In a way, I feel like this person is like willfully independent. Like, it's almost like a toddler that wants to prove to their mom that like, I don't need you, you know, and they have this like bravado about it. And so I feel like in a way, this whole situation has been very upsetting to them, because the whole point was to prove their independence and to prove that they don't really need you, and to prove like, I'm better off without you, screw you, you know. And then it's like, instead of that happening, the complete opposite happened. And I feel like this person is really missing you, or really can't be without you. Like, they're starting to realize like, well, that was kind of my only option. You know how sometimes you think, well, yeah, there's plenty of options here. Like, maybe you were gonna like order some food or something. Like, maybe, because this has happened to me a few times recently, where like you're gonna order something to eat and you're like looking through the restaurant menu and you're like, no, maybe I'll get that, maybe I'll get that, and then you're like, oh, I'll order in like a half hour. I'll think about what I want. And of course, then you get like distracted by like TikTok, or you're doing something else, or you're talking to someone, and you're not actually thinking of what you want. So then you go back maybe in 45 minutes or an hour, and you're like, okay, I think I'm ready to order. I think I'll get the chicken salad or whatever it is. And then you go back, and maybe like the restaurant is shut down and it's like closed for now. Like, it had a rush of orders, and so now it's like Friday night and you're trying to order the pizza, or you're trying to get some meal, and now it's like temporarily closed. And that feeling of frustration, that feeling of like, oh, I just missed out on that, and almost like you hadn't taken it so seriously. Like, in the moment you were like, well, I could get that, I could get that, I don't know, maybe that option isn't that great, whatever, and you were very mid on it. And then as soon as it gets snatched away and you realize you can't order anything, you're like so regretful, and you're like, oh, I really needed that, I was craving that. And it's like this bitter disappointment, because you kind of know it's your fault, because you were the one who like took your time and just kept thinking they were going to be open. I know that's a silly metaphor, but honestly, it's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Like, this person kind of thought they had the control, or they thought you were going to be missing them, and you were going to reach out and you were going to say how sad you were and how painful it is. And I feel like instead, this person is left being in a lot of pain. This person is the one who's left really missing you and wondering kind of like what were they even thinking? Like, I feel like they don't want to admit that to themselves, but that's kind of, they know they messed up. But they, honestly, a lot of them are really in denial. A lot of them are really like blocking out their emotions and not even letting themselves go there. They're not even letting themselves process, because I feel like they know that they messed up. And it's like, this person is very ego driven. Again, we have some Sagittarius, Jupiterian energy here. And I'm not saying all Sagittarians are egotistical, but I will say I think that's a common thread in fire. I'm not coming for fire signs because I have a lot of fire in my chart. But whether you're talking about Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, there's an kind of selfishness and independence. And I think that gives a lot of fire signs their mystique. Like, they're focused on themselves. You know, it's not a sign that's more about connection, like air, water, or it's not about like longevity and peacefulness the way Earth is. And that's why fire signs can be very glamorous and exciting. But I'm getting that vibe of like this person almost maybe having too much fire in their chart, or being very impetuous and very self-focused and kind of very like, I'm gonna be doing what's right for me, and not even really thinking of how you would react or how you would feel. And now I feel like they're kind of having to admit that maybe they didn't do things right, but I feel like they're pushing that away because their self-image is super important to them, and they don't want to admit to themselves that they may have messed up. So I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if this person keeps themselves distracted by dating others, by going out. I also could definitely see them checking your social media quite a bit and really watching to see what you're up to, and really wanting to know like what you have going on in your life, and kind of like watching from afar. Let's get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 2. We want to get more tarot for pile 2. Oh my gosh, Wheel of Fortune again. Double Wheel of Fortune. Okay, King of Cups. The Knight of Swords. The Ace of Wands. Yep. The Ace of Cups reverse. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So, yeah, Wheel of Fortune coming out upright twice. Wheel of Fortune is also a card that's very forward, future facing. Like, it's very focused on the future and can be kind of optimistic. I mean, especially when it's upright, obviously. And so it's kind of a card about whatever, on to the next. Like, that's kind of Sagittarius energy as well, which can be really charming about Sagittarius and give it a lot of optimism, but it can also lead to like risky choices, risky decisions. And again, I feel like this person kind of has this abundance mentality. Like, they just think, oh, I'll just find someone new. And then I feel like they really struggle to do that. But I would not be surprised if this person is trying to just date around, keep themselves really busy, if they were trying to fill their life up with like a million different girls or a million different people, or date a lot, or go out and party a lot, or travel a lot. Of course, Sagittarius rules the 9th house of travel, but it doesn't have to be literally traveling across the world. It could be also Sagittarius energies like going out and dancing on a Friday night. I mentioned before, but Bejeweled, the song by Taylor Swift, always reminds me of Sagittarius energy, and I feel like Taylor Swift has been in her Sagittarius era. She is a Sagittarius, and to me, Evermore, Folklore, that was kind of like her water era. She has a lot of water in her chart, Cancer Moon, Scorpio Ascendant. But I feel like she has entered her Sagittarius Sun era, and that's why maybe now she's more controversial. She does things that annoy people more. So there's like upsides and downsides to accessing that Sag side of, I'm just going to do it because I feel like it. And you know what? I just trust the universe, and I'm just going to be bold. And sometimes you win that way, and sometimes you win really big and you get blessed by the benefic of Jupiter. But sometimes you lose because you maybe don't take it seriously, because maybe you have this, there's always going to be something new out there, instead of actually taking what you have really seriously and being kind of careful and plotting and methodical. They both have different advantages, and it feels to me like this person is very much in their like chaos era and kind of running from their feelings, kind of running from the truth, I want to say. We also got the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups reversed. So this person may also have never been interested in something long term, or maybe this is just their way of dealing with their pain right now. They may be seeking out a lot of short-term flings and short-term relationships and kind of keeping things limited to like a physical or sexual connection instead of a deep emotional connection, because we usually would see that deep emotional connection indicated by the Ace of Cups. Ace of Wands would be more purely physical. So I feel like this person may be, again, trying to distract themselves, trying to keep themselves busy instead of paying attention to their emotional state. Or even with the King of Cups, being in an emotional state, but in a way that's kind of immature. And yeah, I'm kind of seeing that debilitated King of Cups, like reverse King of Cups, where, you know, maybe they're emotional, but it's like too much focusing on their emotions, too much focusing on maybe even feelings of victimhood, you know, that we can see with water sometimes, where maybe there's that emotional processing that happens, but it's almost too much emotional processing. It's too much fixation on like, and then they said this and I just can't believe it, and almost like not being mature about, yeah, and they said that and it really hurt me, and then I also did this, and kind of taking a Pentacles more balanced approach to things. Another thing about water, and I say this as a water sign, I'm not trying, I guess I'm like roasting all the signs today, roasting Sag, now we're going on to water signs, roasting fire, now water. But speaking as a fellow water sign, I feel like we can sometimes dwell, and sometimes our emotions get so overwhelming to us that we can't even hear like the other person's emotions. You know, like I know me, I'm a Cancer moon. When I'm emotional, like I'm really emotional, and I have a water sun, so that doesn't help either. Pisces sun, Cancer moon, love to feel victimized, not gonna lie. And so sometimes it's like someone might hurt me, and instead of me being able to even process like, yeah, it was wrong that they said that, but then I also totally said this too, or I started this argument, or yeah, and I also instigated this. All I can focus on is like, and they said that, and I can't believe, and like my feelings, because it's like our feelings are so overwhelming. It's like drowning in water, and that's why people so all the time say during like Pisces season, say during Scorpio, Cancer season, like, oh my God, I can't wait for the fire season. I'm so ready for water season to end. I feel like I'm going crazy, because it's very emotional for us. You know, being watery, feeling like all these emotions can really take it out of you. But it's then important to kind of have that mature stance, like, okay, I'm feeling this, and maybe my feelings are overwhelming me right now. Maybe they're just raining down on me. But also, maybe I did that part, and maybe they did this, and let me look at things more fairly. And that's what I feel like this person is just not doing. Like, I feel like for them, they're just very much in a like self-focused mode, like thinking about how they feel, thinking about their emotions, thinking about what you did to them, instead of kind of having that mature stance of processing everything and being like, yeah, I messed up here, and then they said that wasn't cool, but also then I did this. It feels like this person feels very like victimized, very upset, and their way of dealing with it is kind of blotting it out and almost like blaming you, or putting all the blame on you and claiming like they're the total victim and you did this and you're so mean and whatever. It's not really a very mature mindset. And also I feel like this person just really likes to distract themselves. We also got the Knight of Swords, so that can talk about someone that definitely wants to stay busy. Swords are very fast moving energies. So I feel like with the Knight of Swords, which is also a fast energy, the Knight, this person probably is trying to like talk to lots of people, maybe DM lots of people, maybe do lots of stuff. I feel like in a way they want to reach out to you, but they also want you to be the one to reach out, or they want you to be the one to say sorry or something. They definitely don't want to seem like they are missing you. Let's get some song cards for you. Pile number 2. So we got emotion, the Bee Gees, and that's what I'm saying. Too much emotion. Like, emotion is a good thing. Emotion is beautiful, especially in a relationship, but sometimes if there's no controls on the emotion, just like water is a beautiful thing. I mean, who doesn't love a day at the beach, a day at the lake, swimming around in a pool? It's really relaxing. But, you know, a tsunami, a sudden rogue wave crashing over a boat, or a like sudden dam bursting, or a flash flood, or anything like that, a pipe breaking and leaking out and exploding, you know, too much water, too much emotion can be a bad thing. And that's why you need to learn to manage it. And I feel like that's what this person has not done. They kind of have felt an emotion towards you, and it feels like they just let it kind of spiral out of control. Let's get some more cards for pile number 2. Nightmare, Miley Cyrus. Okay. So they may be dreaming of you or thinking of you on the astral plane as well. I Want to Be Yours, Arctic Monkeys. Door, Caroline Polachek. And Love Stoned, Justin Timberlake. Let's get a couple more. There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, The Smiths. And there's a little water damage on this one. I Get a Kick Out of You, Frank Sinatra. And one final card, Halcyon, Ellie Goulding. So that song is all about like halcyon days, which is kind of when you look back and you are like, oh, those were the best days, those were the best times. So it's kind of like that fog of memory that happens where suddenly we view the past through these rose-colored glasses. And I feel like this person is doing a lot of that. Like they are thinking back onto the past, and they are definitely kind of considering like, how should maybe I should have acted different, maybe I should have said this instead, maybe I should have done that. But I feel like there's less consideration of their actions and more consideration of your actions and blaming you, but definitely looking back on the past. And I feel like this person just feels this deep sense also of betrayal on their side. Like I feel like, I know at first I said they betrayed you, but now I'm getting more like this person goes back and forth, but they lean more towards the victim side, feeling like they're the victim, feeling like, I can't believe they did this to me. And I feel like on one level, they know they messed up and they're admitting that, but on the other side, they blame you for the events, or they blame you for what they did. You know, I'm hearing that song, Look What You Made Me Do by Taylor Swift. So that kind of like, hey, you forced me into this, or I didn't have a choice, or of course I did that. Like, duh. Yeah, I feel like this has been really hard for this person, and they definitely are looking back and kind of regretting and kind of thinking that that probably wasn't the best behavior. Yeah, I feel like they definitely feel your absence from their life. That's what's coming through, is like, now that you've been gone, it is a nightmare. And there is this feeling of, I didn't really realize how much this person brought to me. And I feel like this person hates to even feel this way, hates to admit that, hates to have these thoughts, but they kind of can't help themselves. That even though they don't want to be thinking of you, and it's almost like they beat themselves up for it, they still constantly, their mind goes back to you. They still constantly think of you. And I feel like they might have a very love-hate relationship with your social media. On one hand being like, I'm going to clear these so we can get some more cards, by the way. On one hand being like really grateful that they have your social media and that they can like look up what you're doing. And on the other hand, really regretting their own dependence on checking it. So even though maybe they tell themselves like, I'm not going to look at their Instagram anymore, they might like block you from their Instagram, or, you know, block you from Snapchat or TikTok or whatever. And then they find themselves lurking, and maybe they make a fake account, or they find themselves going into like a private window and checking and seeing what you're doing. There's this big sense of like not being able to control themselves, and to a certain extent really regretting that, or looking at it as a weakness, a failing, and almost like, I wish I was stronger. Like I told myself I would be stronger. I should be stronger. And also I feel like lying maybe to their family and friends, telling themselves that like they don't care and they're over it. And, you know, almost like their friends asking about you, or being like, hey, so have you talked to pile number 2? And then being like, pile 2, I don't care what they're doing. But actually deep down, like, of course, checking on it, checking on you, and really not wanting anyone to really know that, or even to admit it to themselves. So we got Metamorphosis, Flying, Ride the Wave, and Slow and Steady. So I definitely feel like this person is trying to, again, like keep themselves really busy with this Flying card. To me, how this is sticking out is this kind of like, let me keep my life busy, let me keep myself engaged, let me keep myself doing other things, because I do not want to think about pile number 2 at all. And so I'm going to act like I'm really thriving. I want this kind of image out there to the world of, wow, like look at pile 2, they're a huge success. And almost a little bit of shame or rage or anger at like the fact that you have proven to so many people, like people may ask about you, people may inquire about you, and almost this feeling of resentment towards you of like the way you may have dented their image, or the way that you may have brought up like almost bad PR for them, to the point where other people are asking about you and they're having to answer these uncomfortable questions. What is pile number 2's person feeling and thinking towards them? Let me pull one more card. Okay. So we got the Keeper of the Scales, fairness, balance, the Hawk Prince, spirit communication, paying attention, the Web Weaver, synchronicity, divine intelligence, cause and effect, and the Hungry Ghost, obsession, scarcity, consciousness, attachment. So, spirit communication, this person may be communicating with you on the astral plane, even if they're not trying to. They may kind of be unable to stay away from you. And I feel like it's something that they aren't, again, thrilled about. They're not happy. They wouldn't like choose to be talking to you on there, but I feel like they think of you so much, and they are fighting the urge to like reach out. I feel like for them, they kind of want to make you jealous. They want to make you see them with someone else. They want to rub your nose in it. They want you to see them dating or happy or single or having the time of their life. So this may also be why we got that 6 of Wands, is it's not just them lurking your social media, it's trying to make you lurk their social media. They want you to be thinking that they are living their best life and they're having so much fun, and they don't really care and couldn't care less about you. So this person definitely feels wronged by you. We even got the Keeper of the Scales, fairness, balance. This kind of relates to the Justice card. We have the Justice symbol of the balanced scales, aka the Libra symbol. So I feel like this person really feels like you did them wrong. I'm hearing something like, I treated you better than I treated anyone else, and it still wasn't enough for you. So there is this resentment coming through. And even if you're like, you didn't do anything for me, like, excuse me, what are you talking about? In this person's world and in their mind, they do feel like they've done so much for you, and they feel like they gave you everything and you rejected it. So there's a lot of resentment there. There's a lot of anger, and it's very still unsettled. So let's get some astrology dice for you. Pile number 2. So we got Aries, and we got the 8th house, aka Scorpio, and we got Venus. So I'm not surprised with Aries coming out. I mentioned Aries as one of the fire signs, and you know, I think Aries definitely exemplifies some of the selfishness of fire. And I have a lot of Aries, so I'm calling myself out, but I think that Aries is very self-focused. You know, it is a young sign, an immature sign. It's also young. It's the youngest sign in the zodiac. It's maybe the first incarnation. You know, it is like that first, most honest version of ourselves. And let's be real, most of us are thinking about ourselves. We kind of learn to maybe not do that so much, and as we move through the zodiac wheel, the concerns move from the very personal about the self, and then to like interpersonal with relationships between maybe 2 people or a small group. But then by the end, it is more of a communal energy. But at the end of the day, we're all kind of self-focused, and that's why the sun is exalted in Aries. So it's not a bad thing, but I do feel like this person, they have that young, youthful immaturity that's very focused on what's going on for me and how do I feel. And it may be very hard for them to even put themselves in another person's shoes, and really think about how anyone else would even feel about the situation. So I feel like this person doesn't really do a lot of that with you. Like, they don't even stop to think about, gee, what was my part in this? They're very just like, they upset me and that's not cool. And that kind of moves me to the other sign. We just got the 8th house, aka Scorpio. That's water, and it Mars water, so it's Mars that's nocturnal and in water instead of in fire. And so 8th house energy, can be selfish as well. And Scorpio can be very vengeful. We have the 2 Mars ruled signs. So Mars is a vengeful energy. It is a soldier. It doesn't mind fighting. It doesn't mind conflict. And often when someone has a lot of Mars placements, Scorpio placements, Aries placements, or just heavy Mars aspects, that person may be someone that likes to fight, doesn't mind fighting, doesn't mind going at it, and kind of like is going to react that way. Like if you screw them over, they're going to screw you over twice as hard. They're going to make sure you suffer. And I feel like this person is in that vengeful energy. Like you've awakened their emotions, and I feel like it's like they feel almost like stupid, like you made a fool of them, or you played them, or you moved on and you're completely thriving and you don't care about them at all. And I feel like that really bothers this person. Like the idea that you're just off on your own, doing your own thing, not even thinking of them, completely footloose and fancy free, that really bothers them. We also got Venus, and again, I feel like that is that connection energy. That is this person feeling like they really liked you and they could have seen a future with you. And almost like they always expected you to have that kind of like Libra desire to preserve the peace. And so you were never going to rock the boat. You were always going to do whatever you had to do to keep things copacetic between you and to keep everything calm and cool and to keep the relationship flowing. And I feel like you did something to take your power back, or you stepped away somehow. And that really bothers this person because it just threw them for a loop. They weren't expecting anything like that. They always thought you were going to be kind of sitting around waiting for them, doing whatever to keep things going. And yeah, they are not a fan of the you taking your independence back movement or moment that happened. But yeah, that is what I have for you, pile number 2. I really hope that resonates. If it did, I always love to hear from you guys and know what's happening in your life. So let me know. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe. All of that really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about what people fantasize about you. And before that, I posted one all about what makes you sexy, your sexiest qualities. So 2 very spicy, fun readings. And then before that, I also posted a deep spiritual reading all about what you're carrying with you from past lifetimes. So that one is a little bit more spiritual and deep, and there's so many different readings over on Patreon, over 85 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up over there. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So they always get posted over there first and way earlier, and then we also vote and suggest on new topics as well. So there's a lot of advantages for Patreon. If you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the description and in the comments as well. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. Have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel for you, or do a little mix. Yeah, you can get a half-hour reading, a full hour-long reading, a pre-recorded reading, a live session. You get to really customize the reading so that it's right for you and you get whatever kind of vibe you want from your session. So yeah, like I said, if that sounds good and you're interested in booking a slot with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. So let's get into your cards. You guys got the Queen of Cups, the 3 of Cups reversed, the 2 of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Strength card. So wow, this person has a lot of deep emotions and feelings towards you. We got the Queen of Cups, the 2 of Cups, even the 3 of Cups, although that's reversed. But this person definitely has very deep emotions, and you also, I'm hearing, may be helping them to access their emotional side. If this person is an overthinker, if they tend to be very logical or just down to earth or not necessarily the most romantic person, I feel like you have brought that side of them out, and it's helped them to kind of open their intuition, explore that side of themselves. And I feel like you feel to them like their soft place to land. Like when they're with you or when they're around you, they can finally kind of take a breath, relax, and stop being in this very rigid world that they usually kind of reside in. They usually may feel like they have a lot of pressure on them, or they usually may feel like they have a lot of expectations put on them, or that they are expected to talk in this very like rational, intelligent, and kind of like logical minded way. And I feel like when they're around you, you really make them put their guard down and allow them to flow and open up and kind of like delve into this emotional side that they usually wouldn't feel comfortable letting out with anyone else. I also feel like they feel more comfortable being vulnerable with you and open with you in a way that they don't feel around anyone else. With the Three of Cups reversed, it may be that they are no longer interested in dating anyone else, or they really can't see anyone else. They are just so single-minded when it comes to you. I also could see if this person even is or does try to date someone else, it just may make them more and more convinced and more sure of how different your connection feels, how special and how unique it is. You know, sometimes in a relationship, or if things get hard, or if you're dating someone, you may tell yourself like, oh, well, whatever, there's plenty of fish in the sea and I'll just move on and I'm just going to forget this person. And then you might try to do that and go out on a date. And instead of it making you feel comforted or being like, okay, perfect, so yeah, I can date this person, I have lots of options, it actually makes you feel more lonely because you realize how rare what you had was. And I feel like if this person and you are in separation, that may be something that has happened. Maybe they've tried to date around and all they can think of the whole time on the date or when they're talking to someone else is you. And I'm hearing that song from like Tate McRae and Troye Sivan about, and the song is literally called You. And I think the lyrics are like, all I think about is you, you. And yeah, I feel like that's what's going on. It's almost like you're on a loop in their mind, you know, you're just like there for them all the time, omnipresent, just constantly fixated on you. And I feel like they really could see you as the one. I mean, the Ace of Pentacles can talk about wanting to start a long-term connection. Aces generally are at the beginning of something, but the Pentacles really indicates longevity, long-term commitment, and potential. So I feel like with this person, they could see this being a really long term. And I feel like this person is worrying, like, I don't want to mess it up. With the Strength card, I feel like that's almost their own, like they see you as very strong, but it's also like they want to protect you. They kind of want to look out for you and take care of you. And I feel like for them, they're also worried to try to make sure that they don't mess things up between you, that they don't do anything bad. I feel like that's a major thing for them, is like, I've never really felt this way and I've never wanted to step up to the plate the way I do with pile number 3. Like, I really want to make sure that I put my best foot forward. I really want to make sure that I impress them and I show them how amazing I can be. And there's this, I think they think of you as like very sweet. You know, the Queen of Cups is a really sweet energy. It's really, she is very loving, very supportive, extremely emotional supportive. Of course, Cups is emotions, it's intuition. And I feel like this person sees you as just like this, again, kind of like soft place to land. Like, oh my gosh, I can kind of relax around pile number 3. I can kind of like tell them things that I haven't told anyone else. I can get vulnerable around them in a way that I think is very rare for this person. So I feel like this person is very grateful as well for your presence in their life and everything you've taught them. Like, I feel like they feel like they have learned so much from you, and that the walls or the barriers they used to feel like they had to put up with other people, this connection has been very, very healing for them. If you are in separation, again, that may be a double-edged sword, where sometimes they're so grateful to have met you, but on the other hand, they're also like, wow, so I'm really never going to feel this way with anyone else. Like, I feel such a connection to pile 2, but you're telling me that basically this was like one and done, and now I don't have access to them anymore. And I feel like that could make them kind of sad, you know, because they are someone that I think kind of romanticizes or fantasizes or just daydreams about you. Like, I think they think of you a lot, and they, you know, their mind wanders to you throughout the day, and you're just kind of like always, I'm hearing that song by Coldplay, Always in My Head. And the lyrics are like, I think of you, I haven't slept. And I feel like that's something that, it's a really dreamy song. And I feel like you wouldn't even know, like you don't even realize how much this person does like you, how much they dream of you, and how much they think of you. They might even be afraid that if you found out, you'd be like weirded out and you'd be like, oh my God, that's insane. Like, you're crazy. But yeah, I feel like this person has found themselves thinking thoughts about you that maybe they've never thought about with anyone else. Like, I could see myself marrying this person, or I could see myself proposing to them, or I could see myself with them forever. Like I feel again so supported and connected and just kind of safe with them. You know, I feel like this person really feels like they can trust you and open up to you. There's also an energy that they may think of you as kind of witchy or into the occult. And I feel like this person sees you as a little bit of a spiritual authority. Like I feel like when anything happens in their life, they kind of want to like go tell you about it. They want to get your advice. They want to see your opinion on things. Like I feel like they really value your input and think of you as a little bit of a leader for them. Think of you as someone that, you know, they could come to and they want to know what you think. They want to know what you have to say. They definitely, I feel like, spend time thinking, you know, what would be pile number three's reaction to this? Like, even if you have nothing to do with that decision, or maybe they are making a decision in like a field of mathematics or something you have not a lot of experience in, I feel like for every choice they make, they kind of run through their mind like, oh, what would pile number three think of this? Or maybe if they're, you know, checking out an apartment, there's that thought of them of like, well, maybe one day pile three will see this, or what will their opinion be, or what would their opinion be? There's also this perception of you as being a little bit flighty or being very emotional to the point where maybe sometimes you're not as like balanced or down to earth. And I feel like that's why this person wants to be your rock. I feel like there's a part of them that thinks that you are a little chaotic, but I think they are attracted to that. It's almost giving me manic pixie dream girl vibes. Like they're not holding this against you or angry about it, but I think they have this idea that you can be emotionally volatile or make your decisions based primarily on your emotions. Like you're not a super, I want to say rational person, but I don't mean that in like an offensive way. I just think they think of you as someone that you don't make the decisions on in life based on like, oh, I should do this, or the, you know, the logic says that. I feel like they could see you like packing up your stuff and like moving to Peru randomly, or deciding to take a job at like an art gallery just because you feel called to it even though the salary is cut in half. Like they see you as very like marching to the beat of your own drum and kind of like a wildflower blowing in the wind and just going where it takes you, you know? And I feel like they love that. They're excited about that, but it kind of worries them as well because I feel like there's a part of them that doesn't know if they'll ever be fully able to like possess you and know you and predict you. And there's a part of them that worries that one day you would just be like, oh yeah, I'm bored, bye, and like leave them behind or something like that. So I feel like on one hand, again, they're very drawn to that quality. They love the fact that you kind of keep them on their toes. But on the other hand, there is that part of them that's like, yeah, I really hope that they're not gonna randomly leave me, or I really hope that when they say they love me, they mean it. And I feel like there's a part of them that wonders if you could ever really love them back to the level that they love you, or you would ever really care about them to the extent that they care about you, because I think they're pretty convinced that whatever you feel for them, it can definitely not come close to how they feel for you, because it is so much, so deep. So let's get some more cards. Let's get some tarot for pile number 3. So we got the Star reversed, the World. Oh, and I should mention, by the way, that as I was pulling these cards, I got so many cards, like I mentioned before, but this deck has some naked images, so I always have to kind of like filter the cards that I actually show on the screen and then kind of try to work the hidden cards still into the meaning of how I read the tarot without showing you guys. But anyway, it's so funny because I pulled almost every like naked card in the deck. Like I was like, okay, I didn't even know, like I knew this card had a few naked figures, but I did not know there were that many, including the Star card. So we did get that, and it's nice to see it coming out again. And also the World card, also the Judgment card. I mean, there was also the Devil card. So since we got so many naked figures and it was just like, wow, okay, so many one after the other, I kind of take that as this person is probably very physically attracted to you. And I feel like this person probably thinks of you as just like, I don't know, a sexual goddess, like someone who's so attractive to them. The Star card can talk about that as well, you know, having you be the center of their attention, having you be someone that they really can't stop thinking about. And I feel like with the Four of Wands as well, they may think of you as the light of the party, kind of flighty, kind of like I feel like they think of you as someone that is, like I said, kind of on to the next and just doing your own thing, very involved in like your own energy and not necessarily like wistfully dreaming of them all the time. I feel like they see you as very independent minded, and also again kind of this star, kind of this very unique figure that maybe not a lot of people could even like understand. And I feel like that gives you quite a lot of glamour. Thinking of the phrase like the star, we usually associate that with like Hollywood, celebrities and very famous, beautiful people. And again, I think they kind of think of you as that. Like to them, you have this glamour and this mystique and this kind of hidden beauty, but not hidden beauty, like it's very out in the open, but this beauty about you that I feel like this person really can't get enough of. And they just think of you as a very rare, like kind of like sudden shock that blew into their life and like threw everything else to the side. With the World card coming out as well, they could imagine you as someone that they could again see as being a partner for life, as kind of end game. The World is the final card in the major arcana, so it is that moment when we have completed the journey through the major arcana. We've come to that moment of completion. It's done. We accomplished whatever we needed to. So I feel like when it comes to you, they do think of you as maybe like their final person. Like, I could see myself settling down with this person. I could see myself being with them for the rest of my life. Let's get some more cards. King of Wands, again, highly attracted to you. We got so many naked cards. So they may think of your naked body as just incredibly attractive, whether they've actually gotten to see it or not, or this is just from their imagination. Yeah, definitely they are super attracted to you. And the King of Wands confirms that. Like they just can't get enough of you, and they may think of you as just like, I'm hearing like, what did John Mayer say about Jessica Simpson? I always think of that as such a funny quote that he actually said out loud, but he called her sexual kryptonite, which is kind of a major compliment. I mean, I think he was pretty disrespectful in this interview, but still, like saying something like that, I mean, it is a big compliment at the end of the day. And so, yeah, I feel like this person, whew, they just can't get enough of you. And they think of you as maybe a little bit of the hermit as well. That makes sense to me because I feel like they see you as very independent, very unique, doing your own thing, kind of a little kooky or different or a little weird, but in a kind of cool way. Like I feel like they see you as, yeah, this individualistic, very special person. It makes sense. We got the star card. The star card in tarot is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarians love to march to the beat of their own drum and really do their own thing. So the Hermit, the star card, both of them have this energy of someone who is not really going to follow the crowd and who is going to look through things through their own ideas and their own images. They're not trying to keep up with the Joneses or worry about what others have to say or really overthink about like the impression they made on someone or anything like that. I feel like they see you as kind of like, I'm hearing that line from TikTok or a TikTok trending sound that's like slipping through my fingers. And I feel like they see you as kind of water slipping through their fingers, like hard to get a hold of, hard to pin down. You're always on to the next. You're always marching to the beat of your own drum. You're always doing your own thing, and you're very unique and independent. And even though I feel like you gave them that soft place to land and they felt very emotionally connected to you, I also feel like they definitely have worries about whether they could keep your interest long enough for you to be like faithful and for them to settle down with you. And there's a part of them that thinks that you just won't do that and that you might not even do that with anyone. Maybe that you're just so independent that you don't ever want to get married, or you don't ever want to like have someone long term, or that even if you did get married the whole time, you'd still be like, okay, I'm going out for girls night, see you later. And I feel like on one hand that excites them. They love your independence. They think of it as really cool. But on the other hand, it's also something that kind of like freaks them out a little, like because they do feel so emotionally dependent. And if you were to like date them and then leave them, it would absolutely crush them. I feel like they also worry about you. And again, I'm getting this very protective vibe. I'm getting this vibe that like when things are, when they can't get a hold of you, or when they haven't seen what you're up to, maybe you just didn't post on social media for a really long time, or you're not telling everyone what you're doing, I feel like that worries this person, and they definitely want to make sure you're safe and protected because they see you as like almost too pure for this world, and too like sweet and kind and special, and they just don't want anything bad to happen to you. I just looked at my clock and it was 444. So angel number and fours in tarot and numerology really represent that solid foundation. That's why like walls have four homes, tables have four legs. It's a building energy. It's a solid, dependable, reliable energy. And again, I feel like this person could really see making a long-term connection with you and really being with you over a long period of time, not just like a flash in the pan or a you know, hit it and quit it situation or a short-term fling. I feel like they really could see themselves committing. Let's get into some more song cards for you, pile number 3. Let's see, Making Out, No Doubt. Okay, what songs do we have for pile 3? One Track Mind, Chromeo. Hypnotize, Fleetwood Mac. No One's Gonna Love You, Band of Horses. And the full lyric with that is no one's gonna love you more than I do. So it's not a romantic sounding title of the song, but it is an extremely romantic song. Daylight, Taylor Swift, Silver Springs, Fleetwood Mac, and Toxic, Britney Spears. And let me get one more song card for you, pile number 3. We got It's All Coming Back to Me Now, Celine Dion. I feel like you don't even know how magically you have changed this person's life and changed their world. I feel like no matter what happens between you guys, like this person will always, always remember you, and you will always hold such a special place in their heart. No matter what happens, if you guys break up, if you stay together, whatever, I feel like you'll definitely be one of the big loves of their life. And I feel like this person is also grateful for a lot of the things you taught them. Like I said, I feel like you guys are a bit of a spiritual authority to this person. Like you've taught them deep spiritual lessons that I think has meant so much to this person. And even if you guys never speak again or never were to get together or whatever the case may be, whatever is going on in your relationship, if there was a falling out, a breakup, whatever, I feel like this person, they will always still look back on you with such fondness and such love. And what's interesting is Hypnotize by Fleetwood Mac. I think that came out in like the 80s or 90s, written by Lindsey Buckingham. And it's reminding me of the song Everywhere by Fleetwood Mac, which has been, I think, trending like sound-wise on TikTok or Instagram Reels, which I love because I love Fleetwood Mac and I love that song. And it's not one of their more famous songs, but it's a really good one. It's not like unknown, but still. But I feel like, you know, that song came out as well in the 80s. And even though I know people debate, like, what are their recent songs about? Stevie and Lindsay of Fleetwood Mac were still writing songs. You can't tell me any different. I just believe that they are still writing songs about each other, even after like 50 years, you know, 30 years, whatever. And that to me shows that that connection was so strong and that love is so strong. And I can say, doing psychic readings, what always strikes out to me is it seems like the most indefeatable like energy in the universe when it comes to psychic readings is love. Because what's amazing is how I've had people show up in readings that were like high school sweethearts, you know, and it's like they broke up and time moved on and someone got remarried, but that person, if they pass, will come through on the other side and be like, hey, I was with you in high school. And you know, and sometimes the person's like shocked. They're like, what is this person doing here? But I feel like for you guys, there is that message that this person genuinely loves you and they are not going to just move on and forget about you, and they genuinely care. And I feel like a big thing for them is just wanting to know you care as well and not being sure exactly of how you feel and having a little bit of that kind of uncertainty and painful doubt, I guess, about whether, like, it feels like you're very unknowable to them. It's interesting you got the Queen of Cups because there's a lot of mystery around the Queen of Cups and water in general. If you think about water as an element, you know, you can hide like a car underneath at the bottom of a lake and it won't be found for decades unless they like drain the lake, or you know, there's a huge drought or something, and they'll always discover that about like desert lakes in like Arizona and stuff. Like when there's a drought, they'll be like, oh my God, this body from the 1970s, or this car that someone like drove into the lake in the 60s and this person was missing, the driver of the car was missing, and now we finally found them. But there's that hidden aspect, like even the Titanic, you know, a lot of things were preserved down there for like 100 years. There's something about water and there's something about water and concealment and hiding and mystery and not really knowing. If you think about peering down into like a bowl of water or into a lake or an ocean, a lot of times you can't see if something's even like a foot underneath the water. You won't be able to see it. There's a murkiness there. And I feel like this person doesn't quite know where your emotions are or where you stand with them. They don't really feel like they can expect you to love them the way they love you. Like I feel like they do feel connected to you, but there's a part of them that feels like they will never really know exactly where you stand, and that you're not the type necessarily to completely open up and tell them exactly how you're feeling. We got heal the ouch, storm field, talisman, and protecting treasure. And I mentioned this a bunch of times. This person feels very protective of you. They definitely worry about you. They definitely want to make sure that you're safe, you're good, you're looked after. And I feel like that's a major concern for them. And that's a major thing, is just they want to know you're okay no matter what. Even if you guys did have a falling out, even if you guys were to break up one day, they are not going to be, I feel like, vengeful for you, because deep down inside they had so much love for you, and they feel that so strongly. They feel that gratefulness that they met you. They feel that depth of connection. I feel like they also are aware, again, maybe that you're going on your own journey, or you have this independent streak. There's something about you being independent and this person just wanting you to know that they're okay with that and they understand that. Maybe their higher self coming through to say like, I understand if you can't be with me right now, you know, I still love you or whatever. But there is this knowledge that you are an independent person. We got the Ice Queen for you. Again, that independence that she has. The text says ideas preserved, non-action, entitlement. But when I think of the Ice Queen, I think of someone who has really strong boundaries and barriers. And what I'm seeing is, again, the Lady of Lightning, and I'm getting that Aquarius energy, the Star card, this element of shock and surprise that you also give off, this element that no one knows exactly what to expect from you. You really are that wild card. And I feel like you always, like, I'm hearing I love you, but I love me more. And I feel like with this person, they are aware that you're going to choose yourself at the end of the day. And on one hand, that scares them, and on the other hand, that really excites them. But there is this feeling of whether they can really be everything for you that they want to be, whether you will receive it, whether you would accept it, or whether you might like completely be doing your own thing. Because I'm seeing like Jenny from Forrest Gump, and the way she kind of like just didn't want to get with him, and he loved her for like 20-30 years. I feel like, you know, and there's plenty of reasons. Like, I think sometimes the internet gets really vitriolic about certain people and they'll hate on certain characters. But anyway, I don't mean to hate on her. I just feel like she, you know, she didn't want to be with him, and she kind of like went off and lived her own life. And I feel like that's kind of how this person sees you, but they're not angry or resentful of that. I feel like they see you as actually such a prize, and they want you to be happy. But there is that sadness that they don't know if they actually have a place in your life. Let's get into some astrology dice for you. Pile number 3. So we got Venus. We got the 6th house, aka Virgo, and then we have Cancer. So Venus rules over Taurus and Libra. Venus is the sign of love. This person definitely feels love for you, and it's a beautiful feminine energy sign. So feminine energy is very restful, it's very receptive, it's very nurturing and loving and kind, and I feel like an emotional, and also chaotic. Actually, in metaphysics, the feminine principle is chaotic. So I feel like for you, they love this kind of chaotic emotional side you give off, and they also love just your actual physical beauty. They see it as so gorgeous, and just like, you're so stunning and you're so captivating. I feel like I'm hearing this line from like a Skrillex song, and it's like Cinema. That's the name of the song. It's, I think Skrillex remixed it or something. But anyway, the line is like, I could watch you for a lifetime. You're my favorite movie. And I feel like that's how this person feels. They could watch you forever. They could just look at your face, and you know, your facial expressions and the way you talk and the way you move your mouth is so captivating to them. Like, nothing else can hold their attention the way you do. With the 6th house, that is the house of daily routine. And again, I feel like this person sees you as elusive, booked and busy, just kind of like hard to get a hold of. Like, I feel like this person sometimes wonders, like, are they actually busy, or are they just avoiding me? Do they not care about about me, but I feel like it makes them like want to step up to the plate more. And they do wonder if you're not in contact with this person, they definitely wonder and spend time wondering what you're up to, wondering what you're doing, how you're spending your time. And I feel like they also wish they could be a part of it. Also, Virgo 6th house is perfectionist energy. And I feel like they also see you as just very perfect, like someone who's accomplished a lot, someone who's very impressive, and someone who just ticks all of their boxes in a way that I don't even think they knew was possible. Then we also have Cancer energy. Cancer energy is super nurturing. It is the mother of the zodiac, extremely feminine, water energy. And Cancer will really, take such good care of their loved ones. They love to cook, they love to look after people, they love to take care of people, and they're very emotionally receptive, sweet, kind, nurturing as well. So this person could see you as the mother of their children, or as a great parent, or as a great long-term partner. And I feel like they really do feel like you've given them so much, and no matter what happens with this situation, they will come away with kind feelings towards you, gratefulness and love towards you that goes down on such a deep level. Also, Cancer connects to the moon, is a spiritual energy, connects to the astral plane. And I feel like this person feels like they can visit you on the astral plane. They feel like very connected to you on there. And their higher self is just coming through with a lot of kindness, graciousness, gratefulness with everything you have done for them. And I feel like you've made a very positive impact on their life. So they just want you to know that they are better off for having known you. And this person just has so much love for you in their heart. So that is what I have for you, pile 3. I really hope it resonates. If it does, I would love to know. I always love hearing from you guys. So if you want to share your thoughts with me, I always appreciate it. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. That really helps the channel. If you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted a reading all about what makes you sexy. And before that, there was a reading all about what people fantasize about you. So there's 2 fun, sexy, kind of like spicy readings, and there's also a spiritual one all about what you're carrying with you from past lifetimes, past karma, and good things from other lifetimes, but a really deep reading. But there are over 85 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that via my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you want a half hour or a full hour-long session, whether you want me to channel for you, read your tarot, read your astrology, do a little mix of all 3, whether you want it to be a half-hour session or a full hour-long session, or you want it to be live, one-on-one, or pre-recorded, you can really customize your session to be exactly right for you. And you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon in another reading. So take care, guys, and I will see you then. Bye. Hey, pile number 4, welcome to your reading. Let's get into your cards. So you guys got the Lady, aka the Empress, the 5 of Pentacles, the Sun card, the 2 of Wands, and the Wheel. So the first thing I'm getting is how fun your person finds you. They see you as so fun, so beautiful, and just a burst of light and sunshine in their lives. Like, I feel like when you came in, you spiced things up and made things exciting. One thing I'm getting about this person, though, is they may have a little bit of an addiction to drama. What I'm getting is they have a very hard time understanding or knowing or trusting that someone cares about them without starting conflict. Like, it's almost like this person doesn't feel safe or comfortable asking for just reassurance and saying like, hey, I really want to know you care about me. How are you feeling? Or something like that. So instead, they may start drama or do like stunts in order to get attention. So instead of coming at you honestly and just being vulnerable, I feel like this person, they may cause a lot of conflict. They may be someone that easily gets mad or upset or ghosts you or whatever, and really doesn't like let you know what's happening. So you might be like, what the heck? We had an amazing time. We spent time together, and suddenly they're ghosting me, or suddenly they pulled away, or suddenly they're starting a fight. And there's some message about them, like I almost feel like this person, they also could just be the type that like flirts by starting fights or flirts by like with conflict or something. And that's their way of kind of like coming through to a person, coming at a person is just like creating a little drama. But either way, I feel like there's a message about you being thrown through for a loop by this person, or you being kind of like, what the heck is going on and how am I supposed to deal with this? And I feel like you need to know a lot of it really doesn't have anything to do with you, and this is just this person's MO. It's almost like they have a hard time just with relationships in general, or coming at things from a very mature perspective. And they tend to, I feel like, err on the side of just being immature and just not coming at it from a very evolved place or a very like self-actualized place. They probably haven't done a lot of shadow work or spiritual work. And I feel like deep down inside that does bother this person, because they do know that it has held them back from certain connections. And it's not something I think they try to do on purpose, like, oh, let me push people away, let me run away from connections. I don't think this person is like consciously doing anything like that. But I do feel like it's something that they end up doing, whether they intend to or not. They end up sometimes like really running away when they feel something strong happening. They kind of have runner chaser vibes. I feel like this person might also act in haste and then regret it later. So they might like storm off or start a fight or start conflict and then later on really regret it and beat themselves up. And there's something very pathological about that. Like there's something very pathological about their behavior. It's almost like they're still rooted in a lot of childhood trauma, or maybe the depth of the connection with you felt very like childhood trauma. It conjured that up for them. It was very intense for them, and they couldn't help but really like feel like their buttons were being pressed by you. I feel like this person, it's almost like they also might have insecurity issues where maybe when they see someone who seems very beautiful, like this Empress energy, or when they see someone that maybe they would automatically think, oh, they're out of my league, or I'm not good enough for them. And I feel like in a way they kind of push that thought down, like they wouldn't fully admit it to themselves, but it's still there in their subconscious, and then they might do things that sabotage the relationship and really ruin things, to be honest. And I feel like for you, it may be something that you wonder, like, well, why did they act that way, or that was really hurtful what they said. And I think again, you just need to know that it really has nothing to do with you, and it's not something that I think that in a way it's a compliment. I know that sounds messed up, or that sounds counterintuitive. Like, what do you mean it's a compliment? They treated me badly. But I do think a lot of it was because they felt so overwhelmed and so drawn to you that it's like they kind of had to sabotage it. They kind of had to ruin it. And I feel like this person takes a long time to kind of boomerang back from, once they do something dysfunctional, it takes a long time for them to be able to process that and be like, oh yeah, I really messed up. So they might continue to exist in this area of kind of like defiance and being like, yeah, so what? So what if I did that? I don't care. And then finally, it might take years before they're finally willing to admit to themselves, like, that was really a problem and I shouldn't have acted that way. And I do regret it. They're not someone who I would assume has been to like years and years of therapy and are really coming at things from a place of deep maturity. Let me pull some more tarot for you. Pile number, let's see. So we just got the Four of Swords, okay, the Queen of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, yep, that makes a lot of sense for this person, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Five of Swords. That makes a lot of sense. The Five and the Seven of Swords, those can both be duplicitous or manipulative energies. It can show someone who's not acting out of a pure place of like true deep truth and isn't going to come to you and like be genuine and honest about their intentions. And I feel like in a way this person really actually hides, like once they get that attraction activated, once they do feel like, oh wow, this person's kind of amazing and I could see myself with them really long term, that's when they start getting scared. That's when they start running away. And I feel like that's what this that's what happened with this person. They may see you as the Queen of Pentacles. They may see you as someone who's very successful and someone that they could see themselves with over a really long-term period of time. Someone that I feel like with the Empress, the Queen of Pentacles, like they see you as very powerful and very together. And I feel like in a way, this person was able to keep the mask going. And I don't even mean that they do it on purpose. I just think sometimes we all are prone to like, let me show my best side. Like, let me really put on my best foot forward and really make a good impression. Just like when you go to like a job interview or for your first week at a job, you're going to probably be working extra hard. And then after you've been there a couple months, you're like, okay, I don't need to like work through my coffee break. I don't need to stay super late at the office, because those things take effort and energy. So sometimes people say, oh, someone had their mask on, and there's almost this very nefarious idea of their intentions that they were purposefully lying. But a lot of times it's not even that deep. It's not like someone is really knowing that like, I'm going to put this mask on, I'm going to pretend, but maybe they subconsciously are like, oh, I got to act right because I really like this person. And then by a few, weeks in or whatever, they don't have any energy left to keep the mask on. So the mask comes off. And I feel like in a way with this person, again, there was some trauma activated. There was some fear activated, maybe feelings of not being good enough with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. And it's almost like that's when this person started running. And I don't think they were trying to fool you, but I think this person has a very difficult time when it comes to emotional depth and deep empathy. When it comes to really, really talking about their feelings and really, really going there, I think that's when this person gets really, really scared. There is this sense that once you get to know them, you're not going to like them enough, so they're going to leave you first, or they're going to be the ones to reject you. And I feel like this person, may have even convinced themselves of certain things in their mind about you. Like they may have told themselves, yeah, well, pile one lied, or excuse me, pile four lied, or pile four is a bad person, or pile four did blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's almost their way of coping to deal with, again, the rejection and the feelings of not being good enough and the feelings of, sooner or later, pile number 4 is going to run off anyway. So let me go ahead and just sabotage this right now and end things. And then I don't have to worry about getting hurt later on. I feel like for them as well, there is this strong sense of being afraid of being known. I feel like in a way you saw through to who they really are as a person. And even though a lot of people would have loved that level of intimacy, I feel like this person was really not okay with it, because it does scare them on a very deep soul level. The idea that you see them through to their core, you really see who they are and you know them, actually really scares them. It doesn't feel comforting. It doesn't feel like a welcome, like, oh, I'm so glad for this intimacy. It feels terrifying. And I feel like this person is used to putting up a mask with so many others, but with you, it was like they kind of couldn't do that. You would see through the BS and you were very intuitive with them. So I feel like this person had a really hard time with that. Some of them may have even put up a definite like fake version of themselves when you first knew them. I feel like sometimes they made promises they couldn't commit, and maybe even they believed some of those promises. Sometimes we all tell ourselves little lies like, you know what, I'm going to start a diet plan and I'm going to wake up every morning at 4 a.m. and go for a run. And then of course that never happens. And I feel like with you, they almost had this desire to turn over a new leaf or become a different version, a better version of themselves. And that was able to last for a while, but unfortunately it was like they fell back into their old habits of who they truly are. There is almost for some of them like a little jealousy over you, or watching you shine and kind of wishing they could be on your level and not feeling like they're quite as talented as you are, special. They're saying people's heads turn when you walk into a room, pile 4. And I feel like this person really wonders if they're even able to compete with that, or if they're even able to do that at all. It feels like you have these special gifts that this person just doesn't have. Let me get some song cards for you, pile number 4. So we want to know how this person is thinking and feeling. We got Instant Crush, Daft Punk with Julian Casablancas, Bluebeard, Band of Horses. Let's see what other songs we're gonna get. I Summon You, Spoon. Oh, that's way too many song cards. God's Plan, Drake. Let's see. Love is a losing game, Amy Winehouse. Something, the Beatles, and let's get one more, Party, Beyonce, and one more actually. Beyonce and Andre 3000, and Just Say Yes by Snow Patrol. So one thing that's coming to my mind is I feel like this person kind of wants the upper hand in their relationship. Like they are able to feel comfortable and open and kind of get emotional, but only when they feel like they are the ones calling the shots. Only when they feel like they are the ones who are powerful. Like that's very important to them, is the level of power, and they might unconsciously look to see who has more power in this relationship. I almost wouldn't be surprised if this person almost usually dates like under their league, like usually they date people below them. I know it's probably not good to look at things like that, but you know, maybe someone that has way less money for them, or someone who is way less attractive than them, or something like that, or someone that just is like they might get very excited if they're working at a company and someone attractive comes in and is the brand new hire, because then they get to be the one who's the powerful one, showing them around the office and telling them like, yeah, so if you need printer ink, you can go into that cabinet, and there's a great coffee shop right down the road. They make amazing macchiatos, and they get to be this kind of like authority figure. You know, they get to be this like guide person that knows so much. And I feel like for them, that's where they shine. Like they shine in the arena of like them being the star and them shining brightly, and the other person looking up to them like, wow. And I feel like with you, instead of feeling this lopsided thing where you were so below them or they were so out of your league, which is maybe what they usually go for, they actually feel like you are a bit of a star and you are this authority figure, or you really have some level of success. And so I feel like for them, that's very hard for them to deal with. It's almost like they miscounted you, or they didn't understand you. They kind of mischaracterized you and misjudged you. So when they first met you, they may have thought of you as, oh, they're kind of vulnerable, and maybe you found your strength, or maybe they just didn't read you right. Maybe it was your first day at work, so you were a little nervous, you weren't talking much, you kind of were unsure of yourself. But then yeah, after a couple weeks at the office, you got into your lane, you started getting more confident, you figured out where everything was and making friends around the office, and now suddenly you're not this like scared, vulnerable, nervous person anymore. And I feel like this person kind of doesn't know what role they could play, because deep down inside there is that lack of self-worth and this feeling that they're not good enough, and this feeling that, you know, unless there's this totally lopsided, outsized inequality, or, you know, difference, I guess, between your levels of power, discrepancy between your power levels, then this person wouldn't be able to capture your interest. And so I feel like in a way, this person had a vibe of like, I'm gonna hurt you first before you can hurt me. We got love is a losing game, which I love for so many reasons. One being that it says game. And I feel like this person does look at love as a bit of a game. Like they really look at things from a lens of like, someone's gonna win, someone's gonna lose, and it's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna be the one to lose. I'm gonna make sure I come out on top. I feel like they think of it as, you know, no matter what, someone's going to get their heart broken, so I need to protect myself. And this person may have had a lot of trauma in past relationships. They may have had their heart broken really badly from like their first girlfriend, or from their college girlfriend, or something like that, or been cheated on or something. And of course, it's really sad whenever that happens, but that's why it's always up to us to do that soul work, that shadow work, and to really move through those bad habits. And I feel like this person, it's almost like they're still in that just desperate pain era. Like, you know how sometimes when you like you hurt your knee or something, you break the skin there, and you have a cut or whatever, and it's a painful first few days, and maybe like it still, you know, hurts a lot by the second, third days, but then eventually the wound starts closing, it starts healing, the blood starts clotting, and everything starts looking better. But if you reopened that wound every day and, you know, kind of like didn't let it heal, and there was lots of dirt and bacteria there, then that's when you could really run into a problem. And I almost feel like that's something where that's happened with this person. They have a lot of these unhealed wounds that they haven't let fully close. They haven't been willing to kind of cleanse it out and do the work, process it. So instead they keep reopening it and it keeps happening for them. And I feel like for them, they're just at a place where they're kind of lonely, but they're also still full of bravado. So honestly, right now, I feel like this person isn't even regretting what happened. Like they're not at the stage or the place of being like, yeah, I really messed up. I feel like they're still running away, and they also still have like this smugness to them, almost like, yeah, I know you're sad. Yeah, I know I broke your heart. Haha, whatever, you deserve it. And again, I feel like that's this person's mentality, that almost like someone's gonna lose in love, so who cares? So yeah, you got your heart broken, and yeah, maybe I ghosted you, but like whatever, that's just how it is. I feel like sometimes it's like they really can do damage without realizing it. A lot of people who might have bad karma, they're doing it from a level of just like not even knowing what they did wrong. They're not trying, they're not consciously going at someone trying to attack them, but they end up causing a lot of karmic debt for themselves because they kind of have this negative mentality. We got listening, moonlight, spark, and let's get one more card. Come together. So I feel like for this person, deep down inside, there is this deep regard and deep love for you, and they felt like you had a really cool connection. What they're telling me is you guys had so much in common. It's almost like you could understand them on such a deep level that no one else could. And I feel like for them, that was really cool. That was something that they really did enjoy for a long time and thought was special. But it's also something that kind of triggers them, because in a way, they also always need to feel like the most unique person in the room, the only person that listens to this band, or the only person with this personality, or the only person that makes these kinds of jokes. And so in a way, I feel like it has really bothered them to have you come into their life, because there's also this vibe that you are super special and you command attention. And I feel like this person is wondering how they fit in, or how they could possibly be the kind of like star of the show when you're around. And I feel like they ended up inadvertently kind of competing with you without meaning to. When this person is actually being honest with themselves, it may be when they drink too much, it may be when they just have a quiet moment alone in the shower. I do feel like that's when they admit them to themselves, this connection that you guys had. And honestly, there is a part of them that does feel bad, because they did feel this connection with you. They do care about you, but then it gets quickly blotted out. This person kind of like, tells themselves to stop thinking about it, and they distract themselves, they pay attention to other things, and they make themselves stop thinking of you. So that doesn't last that long, to be honest with you. Let's get some of these cards to see what is pile number 4's person thinking and feeling towards them. The Dragon's Duel, morality, conscious choice. The Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding. See what other cards. The Horse King, assistance, control, and the Phoenix, resurrection, surrender to change. So like I said, control is super important to this person. Feeling like the powerful one, feeling like the one who's calling the shots, that matters quite a lot. They hate the idea of losing control, and that matters to them so much. Like I feel like this person, I don't know, it's almost like they have so much internalized shame, and they have this idea that if they're not perfect and they don't have everything done exactly right, if they let someone in and that person gets to see the real them, then they will lose, and then it would be the end of the world. Like that's all they can think of with that, is this deep panic and this deep fear that if you really know them, if you really see them as they really are, that of course you would leave, and of course you wouldn't be interested. So I feel like this person continues to hold themselves at bay in order to keep control of the situation. They fear so deeply losing control and letting you in, and then you would have control, you would have the power, and then you would break their heart. And that's how they feel. Again, in their mind, they see this as a contest. They see this as a fight. We got so many fighting cards, the 5 of Swords, the 7 of Swords. They really see it like a battle of wills, like love is this battle and they have to win. And it makes them very much have a hard time finding authentic connection. Let's get into some astrology dice for you. Pile number 4. What astrological energies are at play? So we have Okay, we have Pisces, Cancer, and then we have Taurus. Okay, so let's read it from left to right. So we have Taurus. Taurus is the second house, the house of earned income. It is the builder of the zodiac, the master builder. Taurus also loves all things abundant and beautiful and kind of like, yeah, self-indulgent. I feel like for you guys, this person is in a little bit of that selfish energy of earning their own money, paying attention to the things they want, and also maybe distracting themselves with like temporary pleasures, because Taurus is also about self-indulgence. It's about eating really good food, drinking good wine, delicious smells, beautiful silk fabrics against your skin. It's about those finer things in life. And sometimes when we're in a low vibrational state, I find that's when we seek out a temporary distraction around the senses, like that's when we might eat too much. That's when we might drink too much. That's when we might use something outside of ourselves to really moderate our feelings. I feel like with this person, they kind of have more of an easier time focusing on either making money or going out drinking or doing anything other than the emotional work. We do have the fourth house of Cancer, family and deep friends and deep connections. And Cancer is ruled by the moon, which really is our innermost deep emotions. It's also how you see or how you show up in your deepest, closest friendship. So the version of you that only your closest family members or absolute closest best friends would see: your husband, your wife, your mom, your dad, your siblings, and maybe your closest best friend of all time, or your very best, tightest inner group would see. The version of you that most other people will never get to know. And I feel like that's what scares this person the most, is you really saw through to who they truly are at their core, and that drives them crazy. They are not comfortable with that. They're very much more comfortable with keeping a certain image, holding people at bay, not letting them in, not getting vulnerable. The moon is also our emotions, so it's where we're emotionally vulnerable. It's where we feel things. It's where we cry. And I feel like for you guys, this person just doesn't deal in that realm. They just stay away from that realm. They keep things surface level, and anything that tries to really touch their heart and get into their emotions, they take it as a bit of a threat. Finally, Pisces. Pisces makes a lot of sense to me here because Pisces can be a bit of a runner energy as well. Pisces is the fish. So, Pisces has a hard time sometimes dealing with things that they don't want to deal with, uncomfortable things. Pisces are kind of renowned for being forgetful. Maybe like, oops, I forgot to pay off that bill, or, oh my God, I forgot that deadline. And they really much prefer to live in the astral plane, kind of the spiritual realm, kind of the artistic and creative realm. And when it comes to the tough things in life, those moments we sometimes have to deal with, but we really don't want to, that's when a Pisces might just swim off and kind of be delusional and go into those rose-colored glasses and pretend everything is fine. That's why Pisces also ruled certain vices like drinking too much or any substance that takes you out of reality. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people in this pile is doing that, is up to behavior that would take them out of reality, maybe taking certain addictive substances or something like that, because it feels like they really don't want to look at things. It feels like they really want to pretend that everything is fine, even though it's not. They are holding their emotions very much at bay because they're afraid that if they really felt them, it would overwhelm them. So yeah, I feel like it's hard to read this person's energy, what exactly they're feeling, because right now it just feels like they're completely holding everyone at bay. They don't want to admit it even to themselves, but deep down, I think underneath all this, yes, they do care. Yes, they have feelings for you, and it's almost because of that this person has pulled away. So I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but I hope it resonated. Pile 4, that's what I'm getting for you guys. I would love to know from you how it resonated, whether you felt like this was this person's energy, how it's affected you. Let me know down in the comments. Also, make sure to give this reading a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon. I just posted a reading all about what people find sexy about you as well as what people fantasize about you. So two very spicy, fun readings. Then we also have a more serious spiritual reading all about what you're carrying from past lifetimes. But there are over 85 exclusive readings you'll only get access to when you sign up for Patreon. You also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me over on Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you want a half hour or a full hour long session, whether you want me to pull tarot, read your astrology, channel for you, or whether you want me to do a pre-recorded session or a live one-on-one session. You get to really customize your session so it's the perfect one for you. If all that sounds good and you're interested in booking a slot with me, go to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.